Hello, welcome back to Python Fundamentals. In my previous video, I explained about two data types in Python, that is numeric and Boolean data types. And in this video, I will cover the other data types in Python, that is sequence, set, dictionary, and binary data types. Let us learn one by one. So the next category of data type is called sequence data type. Sequence data type is a data type which has strings, lists, and tuples, which can store multiple values in ordered fashion. So it provides three types: strings, lists, and tuple. The first one in the sequence data type is a string. String is a data type that is represented by string class. It is a collection of one or more characters, digits, or special characters delimited by single quotes or double quotes. However, we cannot perform numeric operations on strings even if they contain a numeric value. So I'll give an example. Suppose x is equal to, all the strings should be enclosed either in the single quotes or double quotes. So I'll write, and it may contain one or more characters or numeric values or special characters, and also the combination of the characters, digits, and special characters, but all should be enclosed either in the single quotes or double quotes. So I'll give a character here. Suppose I give character A. Let us see what is the type of X. Yeah, this is a string. So it is a single character. Now I'll consider a group of characters. It name. Then check again the type of X. So this is also a string. Now we'll take the combination of the characters and digits, name 1, 2, 3 $. Then the type X. So type is a function which tells you to which class the variable belongs to, right? So that is string. So a string may consist of a single character, group of characters, numbers, as well as special characters. Even though if you initialize X, suppose if I write X with only the digits, X is equal to, if I write suppose with the numbers, and suppose if I take another variable, Y is equal to 4, and then if I write X plus Y, then it shows the error, because X is not an integer. Even though it consists of the numbers, but they're enclosed in the single quotes, so X will become a string. Let us check the type of X. So if you see the type of X, it is a string, whereas the type of Y, because the number is not enclosed in the quotes, it is an integer. So you cannot add a string to integer, even though it contains the numbers. So that is about the strings. And the second sequence data type is the list. So the list is sequence of items of the same data type or different data types and are enclosed in the square brackets. So let us see, let us take an example. So you have to use a square bracket. Items should be separated with, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they're called items in the list, and they should be separated by comma and enclosed in the square bracket. Now just check the type of X. Yes, it is a list. Now, the list may also contain combination of data types. I'll take an integer and a floating point number and a string. Now, again, check for the type. Now, so this is also a list. So this is regarding the list. Now, the third data type in the sequenced category is called tuple. Tuple is also same as the list, except that the items should be enclosed in parentheses, and once created, the items in the tuple cannot be changed. The x is equal to, in the list, the values of the items in the list can be modified. I'll just explain about the methods, list methods or string methods in the next videos, in the coming videos. And so the fundamental difference between the list and tuple is, once the items are declared in a tuple, we cannot modify them. So let us see how to declare it tuple. So I'll just take the same values, right? And then check for the tuple type of x. So it's a tuple. You can also print the tuple. It can also be the combination of the numbers as well as for the data of different types. You can also take x, y, z, print z. Sorry, we have considered x as a variable. So as a tuple, right? So type. Now check again for the type of x. This gives a tuple. So this is the sequence data type. So sequence data type includes string, list, and tuple. Now, the next data type in Python is a set. A set data type. Set is a collection of unique and unordered items separated by comma and enclosed in curly brackets. So you have to enclose in the curly brackets, and all the items always should be separated with the comma, and the set will eliminate the duplicate items even though if you take them. Suppose if you write x is equal to, I'll take some elements. So all the elements should be in the brackets, right? And then I'll queue. First, let us see how to initialize the set. X is a set. Check for the type of x. And then, yeah. Now, let us see the definition of the set. Set will eliminate the duplicate items. Now, initialize x with the values with repeated elements. Suppose I'll repeat 10 again and then 40. So there are 2 10s in x, set x. So let us print this. If you try to print, see here, the 10 is not repeated in the output, right? So that is the difference between the set and the tuple and list. So if you take a list, suppose, I'll write this as set. Suppose if you take x as same thing, 10, 30, and again 10 and 40. Now here I'm initializing x as a list. You have seen here how to initialize it with the brackets. So just type. So in this x is repeated here, right? But whereas in set, the duplicate items are eliminated. That is the difference between set and the other sequence data types, that is list and tuple. Now, The next category of data type is a dictionary. Dictionary. It is also an unordered collection of items enclosed within the braces. And in this dictionary, each item is a pair of key and values. So item consists of a key and a value. Each key is separated from value by colon, and keys are separated by comma. I'll just explain what is this. So in this, the items will come in pairs as key and values, right? Keys should be separated by commas. Key to key should separate by commas, and keys and values should be separated by colon. So let us see one example. So I'll declare one dictionary. So dictionary, I'll take one variable as dictionary. Dictionary is equal. You can take any variable as X or Y, any name you can give to the variable. I'm taking as dictionary. Dictionary is equal to. Now use this. Yeah. Now it must contain a key value. Suppose I write key as 1, and every key must have a value, right? Then put it a colon, then I'll write a value as apple. 1 is an apple. And then now it is a pair. So 1 is a key, apple is the value. So key value is 1 item. Next items, that is next key, should be separated with comma. So 2, I'll take as some grapes, right? Next, I'll go for with 3 as orange, right? So this is the separation from key to key. So the 1, 2, 3 are keys, and this is the key. 1 is the key, apple is the value, 2 is the key, grapes is the value, 3 is the key, and corresponding value is orange. And then just first dictionary, then it will be printed as this, and then type dictionary. We'll see what it is. It is a dictionary data type. So dict is a class with which the dictionary is represented. So here it is represented as did. I can also replace this with another variable instead of writing as a dictionary. So only understand the difference. So again, I'll just run, right? So this is the same. So this is the next category of data type that is called dictionary. And the last data type is the binary data type. And in binary, we have bytes, byte array, and memory view. Let us see what is this category binary data type. Bytes, byte array, and memory view belongs to this data category. Byte returns a byte object, and always the syntax for byte should be, it should contain a source followed by encoding and then errors. Generally, the encoding and errors are optional. We can give directly byte and source, and encoding and errors are the optional, and encoding is necessary if the source is a string. So if you are using a string here, then obviously you have to mention the encoding method, and errors are you take errors argument whenever to take an action if encoding fails. So whenever the action is required, if encoding fails, then you have to use this argument called errors. Otherwise, encoding and errors are not necessary. And then if the source is a string, obviously you need to mention the encoding. So I'll give some examples. Yeah. Now, let us see what is this byte meant for. What is this data format? What is this data type called bytes? Now, I can convert, suppose I'll take convert an integer to bytes. What it returns, we'll see that, right? Bytes of, suppose I'll write an integer 2. Let us see what it returns. So it has written bytes for the integer 2, right? Now if you write, so it is converting an integer to bytes. Now let us see the other one. That is, I told you, whenever we are using the source, if it is an integer or any other data type, you don't need to mention the encoding method. You can directly give the source. Here the source is an integer. So I have shown you how to convert integer to bytes. Now we'll see how to convert a string to the bytes. But here, whenever we use a string as a source, you need to mention the encoding system. So I'll take a string as hi, and the encoding system is UTF-8. So we have different encoding systems. I'll use this encoding system. -A. Let us see what it returns. So it has returned the hi as the bytes. And then we can also convert the iterables. That is, if you take any numbers, suppose n is equal to list of 1, 2, 3. This is a list, you all know that. You can convert them into bytes, and let us try to print that bytes of n. Then it will return x into byte values. That is 1 corresponding 2 and 3. So it has converted iterables to bytes. So you can convert integer to bytes. As I have shown you, you can give any number. And we have seen how to convert a string to the bytes. And whenever you are using a string, you need to mention some encoding technique. And here I have used UTF-8 method. And then if you're using iterables, that is like lists or tuples, then initialize the list or tuple and then convert into bytes. So iterables also can be converted to the bytes. Next data type in the binary is called byte array. Byte array returns byte array object, an array of given bytes. So here we have seen in the bytes, it returns the bytes. Here it will return an array of the given bytes. That is, the syntax is again the same. We can write it as byte array of, again, the source. The rules are same for both source, encoding, and errors, right? So we'll initialize the byte array. We'll take the same example, byte array of 2. So I'm taking an integer and converting it to byte array. So it has converted. If you see here, it has converted it into array, and the difference you can easily observe from here. So I can write byte array of, I'll convert into byte array of, and take string, and then mention the encoding technique, UT. Yeah. So this is byte array of the hi. So this is the next method, next data type in the binary category. And the last is the memory view. it returns memory view object of given object, and the syntax for it is, it gives a memory view on it, memory view. So we can see the memory where the object is placed, object. So let us see, I'll give an example. So x is equal to, I'll write, we'll take the same example. Suppose, yeah, byte array of this. And then I'll take y as, I'll just want to see the memory view of high, right? High has had 3 letters. This is the first place, 0 is the place, 1 and 2. So we'll see the memory. First, we'll see the memory view of x, where it is available. Okay, now we'll print one by one, where h, a, and I are so. So y of, so if you are using if you want to view each character, and if you want to access each character, there's a method called indexing. So this is the 0th place in the string, first place, and the second position. So we'll see y of 0, print y of 0. Because y is already initialized as memory view, it returns the memory view of the object called x. So whenever I say y of 0, then it will give memory view of h. So print y of 0, right? It has given memory as 104. Similarly, you can use the print for all the other 3 characters also. Because there are 3 characters and it starts with indexing 0. Next character is 1, right? A1. Next, again, we can print the memory view of the next character 2. Now I can also change I'll change the string. Let's write Python. So how many characters are there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is, it goes from 0 to 5. So again, let us run this. So it is y of 0, y of 1, y of 2. So you can see the change in the memory view. We have other elements also because there are 6. We can go for next third, 104. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th element. There is one more character. So we can see the memory. So this is the importance of memory view. So bytes, byte array, and memory view belongs to this category called the binary data type. So in this video, I explained the other data types, that is starting with the sequence data type. And in sequence data type, we have strings, list, and tuple. And strings obviously should be enclosed in either in the single quotes or the double quotes. You must use always single quotes or the double quotes. We can enclose them. And then the list always enclosed in the square bracket. We have seen how to initialize a list in the sequence data type. And list is a sequence of items of the same data type, or it can be of different data types. And you should use a square brackets, and all the items should be separated by comma. And list is the represented by the class again called list. Okay. The next data type is called tuple. Tuple is a sequence data type which is same as list, except that items are enclosed in the parentheses. We have seen that. And once created, they cannot be changed. You cannot change the values of the tuple, whereas the values of this can be modified by using special methods. So these are the three data types in the category called sequence. And next category is the set. Set is a collection of unique and unordered items separated by comma and enclosed in the curly brackets, right? And in the sets, always eliminate the duplicate items. We have seen here in this example, the 10 is not repeated in the output, right? So it is eliminated. And the next category of data type is a dictionary, which is a collection of unordered collection of items enclosed in the curly brackets, and which each item will have a key and a value. Keys should be separated with commas, and key and value should be separated by colon. And the last category of data type is binary. It consists of bytes, byte array, and memory view. Byte returns a byte object, and syntax, as you know, it is source, encoding, and errors. These two are optional unless source is a string. If it is a string, the encoding method should be mentioned. And encoding is necessary if the source is a string, and errors to take action if encoding fails. And byte array is the other binary data type, and it returns byte array object, an array of given bytes. And the last data type in the binary category is memory view. It returns memory view of a object of that is given, and syntax, you know, that memory view of the object. So I have initialized X as a byte array, and X is taken as an object, and have initialized memory view of X to another variable Y, and I have access one by one in the byte array. That is by using indexing. I have found the we have displayed the memory view of each character in the string called Python. So this are the different data types in the Python. So Python supports numeric data types, Boolean data types, sequence, set, dictionary, and binary data types. Numeric, again, we have integer, floating point number, and complex numbers. And then in sequence, we have strings, list, and tuple. And then in binary, we have bytes, byte array, and memory view. I hope you all understood the different data types in Python and how to initialize them.